One Zambia, One Nation. The headlines. The Regional Conference of Youth on Climate Change for Southern Africa opens in Lusaka. Government hands over assorted farming equipment to farmers in Mafinga district. Teaching Service Commission concerned with indiscipline levels among teachers. Plus, Mambwe Town Council sets aside 3.5 million kwacha for road rehabilitation. We begin our news with a climate change segment. The Regional Conference of Youth on Climate Change for Southern Africa has opened in Lusaka with a call on young people to be practical in fighting the negative effects of climate change. The conference, which has been organized by the COMESA through its Governance, Peace and Security Unit in collaboration with a coalition of the civil society organizations and the United Nations system, has attracted over 350 youths from across the COMESA region. Speaking at the official opening of the conference in Lusaka today, United Nations Resident Coordinator Beatrice Montali praised Zambia for the significant role it is playing in implementing effective measures towards mitigating and adapting to climate change. Ms. Montali said climate change has negatively affected the well-being of people globally, with about 10 million affected in Zambia with water and food insecurity. She said this is why there is need for countries to strengthen their mitigation and adaptation measures, especially on vulnerable groups such as women, children and people living with disabilities. Ms. Montali said this in a speech read for her by United Nations Development Programme Resident Representative James Wakainga, a representative from COMESA, or
innovators and champions of climate resilience. While there is a global momentum to acknowledge the positive role of youth in climate action and SDG implementation, meaningful youth participation is about making young people a real priority of climate policies and policy making, recognizing their efforts and impact to date, as well as promoting their participation when it comes to the climate politics. In this regard, I'm extremely pleased to inform you that the UN Secretary General launched a youth advisory group on climate change. The advisory group will bring youth climate movements and voices closer to the UN leadership and ultimately provide advice and inputs in the implementation of the climate strategy. Guests of honor, ladies and gentlemen, climate crisis disproportionately impacts women, children, the aged and people with disability, as well as the youth. Children are the least responsible for climate change, yet they suffer the most from its consequences. Their health, nutrition, education, and well-being are increasingly being compromised as natural disasters become more frequent, widespread, and severe in terms of intensity. Droughts leads to food insecurity, leaving children malnourished and without access to clean water, and this cascades in reduced school attendance.
So then the question is, how do we provide opportunities to ensure that young people continue engaging in their various platforms? How do we ensure that we provide platform for young people so that they can continue influencing and sharing knowledge in the various platforms? And I think that is the biggest challenge for us who are the policy level, that it is time that we provide the space for the young people to start thriving so that they realize their full potential. And as COMESA, I assure you that we will be able to provide that platform so that young people start providing solutions to the challenges affecting our regions. And these solutions should be supported fully by all the policymakers, both at the continental, regional, and national level.
This conference is a critical platform for you and I to amplify our voices, to foster collaboration. We are all coming from different regions of SADC and COMESA and different regions of Zambia. We all have different experiences and we've gone through different things. But we are here today coming together to collaborate, to synergize and share our experiences. We are also here to catalyze action towards a more sustainable and resilient future.
Still on climate change, Muchinga Province Permanent Secretary Henry Mkungule says climate change is no longer a distant threat, but an urgent reality that affects communities, the nation's economy and ecosystems. Mr. Mkungule adds that the effects of climate change have been witnessed by all and has seen an increase in frequency and intensity of extreme weather events. He states that droughts and floods that the country is now experiencing are part of the effects of climate change that serve as stark reminders and cause for swift actions. The PS said this during a two-day stakeholders consultative meeting organized by the National Designated Authority held at Provincial Administration. Mr. Mkungule says the consultative meeting is aimed at reviewing and providing feedback on Zambia's country program and readiness needs assessment.
Proceed with today's review. I would like to underscore several critical areas that we need to focus as Muchinga Province, which include: we need to ensure that the country's program aligns with our province's unique needs and priorities, enhancing the effectiveness of projects to benefit the most at risk and contribute to climate resilient economy, focusing on interventions that are sustainable, scalable, and capable of driving widespread transformations.
And this document is very important because it is what sets out the roadmap of which projects are going to be prioritized in terms of accessing funding from the Green Climate Fund and from the Adaptation Fund. Our coming here, PS, to ensure that we get national consensus in the development of this document. We are aware that the adverse effects of climate change are local in terms of context. So it's important to come to Muchinga and hear the voices from Muchinga that we can incorporate in this national document that we hope to...
Government has handed over assorted farming equipment to farmers in Mafinga district in Muchinga province under the Sustainable Luangwa project. Speaking during the handover ceremony, Ministry of Green Economy and Environment Permanent Secretary Douti Chibamba says the move seeks to actualize government's agenda of promoting sustainable farming practices in the agriculture sector. Here's a report.
Government has recorded a significant step in the implementation process of safeguarding the source of the Luangwa River in Mafinga district from various human activities such as riverbank cultivation. In this regard, the Ministry of Green Economy and Environment has handed over assorted farming inputs and equipment to farmers under the Sustainable Luangwa project in an effort to promote sustainable farming practices. Ministry of Green Economy and Environment Permanent Secretary Douti Chibamba, who officially handed over the equipment in Mafinga district, reaffirmed government's commitment towards supporting the project.
By adopting sustainable farming practices, we are safeguarding our natural resources, ensuring food security, and building a more resilient agriculture. With these tools that we are handing out today, I encourage you to explore innovative farming techniques that minimize waste, conserve water, and protect biodiversity. Our government is committed to supporting our farmers in their effort to adopt sustainable practices.
Meanwhile, Mafinga District Commissioner Boyd Kaonga is optimistic of meeting the project's goals through this donation.
This is an important project which is seeking to enhance protection of the Luangwa River source and its associated downstream ecosystem. As the district, we are not sitting idle. We are working very hard together with traditional leaders.
Beneficiaries are grateful for this gesture.
We are also thankful to the Komako that have come through also to lend a help so that we can improve our lives.
The Sustainable Luangwa project, supported by the Worldwide Fund WWF, has continued to make remarkable progress in the implementation of the project. Henry Lumpa Jr., Zans in Mafinga, Muchinga Province.
Agriculture news continues. Ministry of Defense Permanent Secretary Norman Chipakupaku has assured the people on the Copperbelt province that the defense unit will embark on increased winter maize production once the water challenges in the farming blocks is addressed. Mr. Chipakupaku notes that once the water challenge is worked on, the defense unit will start cultivating winter maize to contribute to the country's food basket. He was speaking when he paid a courtesy call on Copperbelt Province Permanent Secretary Augustine Kasongo in Ndola today. Mr. Chipakupaku also said the defense team will continue to provide security at the border posts and continue to curb smuggling of the country's staple food. And Mr. Kasongo has commended the Ministry of Defense for the initiative of engaging into the agriculture sector. Mr. Kasongo, however, expressed concern over smuggling of products to Kasumbalesa border.
We still have a small challenge, PS, on smuggling of the product to Kasumbalesa. Yes, we have got checkpoints that have been mounted by our men in uniform, the National Service, but somehow we are finding the crop, the maize, the meal is being taken to Kasumbalesa. So we just want to find out how possible that it is when we have checkpoints that have been mounted. On agriculture, I'm very impressed with the way the men in uniform are performing in the province. They are contributing. I'm sure they are doing very fine in that area. We want to echo what the President is saying.
More in agriculture news, government has called on players in the agriculture sector to work together in strengthening agriculture research and extension services for data-driven decision-making. Speaking during a breakfast meeting, Dr. Chibamba said that the government is partnering with the Germany Embassy and GIZ to create an effective adaptation strategy for Zambia's agriculture sector based on evidence-based policy formulation. Dr. Chibamba says climate risk analysis for adaptation planning in Zambia's agriculture conducted by Potsdam Institute for Climate Impact Research will be used to qualify existing policy documents for climate change. He emphasized that platforms that use empirical data to make decisions will help in identifying areas and populations for targeted and effective adaptation strategies and improve crop and animal resilience.
Meetings like this or platforms like this, where now we are using empirical data to make decisions, the importance of such platforms cannot be overemphasized. We need data if we have to make the correct decisions. Because when we have empirical data, then we gain the following advantages. So one, we are able to identify the most vulnerable areas and populations if we have empirical data. Two, we develop targeted and effective adaptation strategies. Three, we improve crop and animal resilience. Four, we enhance agricultural productivity and sustainability. And five, we support climate resilient agricultural policies and investments. And this is where I'm saying, this is the time, let's go and interrogate our policy documents. Are they tight enough? Is our green growth strategy tight enough to deal with the kind of situation that we're dealing with now? Is our national adaptation plan tight enough? So based on the evidence from this study, we should be able to be asking ourselves those questions and hopefully finding answers.
Highly renowned German research institute, the Potsdam Institute for Climate Impact Research, or short PIC, to look at the impact of climate change specifically on Zambia's agricultural sector. And at the end of 2023, they released a key study called Climate Risk Analysis for Adaptation Planning in Zambia's agricultural sector. The study provides useful information to help create effective adaptation strategies for Zambia's agricultural sector. The findings come at a crucial time as Zambia faces a severe drought. I'm very happy that we will start discussing this study today in a structured, high-level way to shape the way forward before it is too late. Ladies and gentlemen, climate change is profoundly affecting Zambia's agriculture. About 90% of all Zambian farms are small-scale and depend largely on rain-fed agriculture. The past season, as we all know, has been the driest for over 40 years. And we all know that rain-fed agriculture without rain is resulting in a direct threat to these livelihoods.
We take our first break. Still to come is health segment.
Zambia Today is a program that keeps you informed on various government policies and programs. Join us every Tuesday at 18 hours on Zans TV, Topstar Platform, Channel 6 DTT, and 458 DTH.
Welcome back. And on our health segment, construction of a modern Machereka maternity annex in Chief Mpamba's chiefdom in Lundazi district of Eastern Province under the expanded Constituency Development Fund CDF has been completed. District Commissioner Marjorie Banda says the facility, which has running water for 24 hours, has been constructed at a cost of 1.2 million kwacha. Ms. Banda has since commended the contractor for ensuring that the project is completed within the stipulated time frame. Details in this report.
They are singing because of this beautiful facility, the Muchereka Health Post, constructed under the Constituency Development Fund CDF 2024 allocation. Lundazi District Commissioner Marjorie Banda says the 1.2 million kwacha health post comes with water reticulation system that will see the facility having running water for 24 hours a day.
You know, I'm very happy. First, I should start saying that I'm sure you've compared the old clinic which was here and the new facility which has been built under CDF, which started early March and been completed and being handed over to the council. As we are waiting for official opening, you can see the women are happy. This is CDF project done by a local contractor from Lundazi, not imported from wherever, but from Lundazi. So I'm a proud mother to say, I'm very happy, as you can see, that we have such buildings in Lundazi now. We don't even stress to say we are going to Lundazi. People will be just doing the works for the hospital within here.
Contractor Kingston Nyerenda says the project is 100% complete and has since been handed over to the Lundazi Town Council.
Started this project around early March and we constructed it within the given time. The time it was about 120 days, which is 4 months, for the whole project to complete. And we have done it within the stipulated time. And we handed it over to the council so that it can be ready to be open.
For the local women here, construction of this facility has brought joy.
So mulero bali kutikira kwa chipatala chikuru ichi nipo chiwemi cha kutoa chikuonga chomene boma lipitirire.
Elsewhere, a new mortuary unit to accommodate 6 bodies has been purchased and installed at Lundazi District Hospital mortuary using the CDF Funds 2024 allocation.
This is a new fridge which has been bought under CDF and is a 6-capacity fridge. So this fridge is able to accommodate a temperature for that time that is not now. As you can see now, it is a negative 3.4. So by the time even if our goals, we still maintain the temperatures for almost 2 days before.
Jonathan reporting for Zans News in Lundazi, Eastern Province.
Health news continues. The Zambia Army Luapula Command Camp Hospital in Mansa District has received assorted items worth 20,000 kwacha from the Army Ladies Association of Zambia to help enhance healthcare services at the medical facility. The Army Ladies Association of Zambia in Mansa donated items which include a wheelchair, mattresses, curtains and cooking pots, among others. More in this report.
All things being equal, the burden to provide healthcare services in health facilities ought to be collective and not only resting on the government alone. It is through such collaboration that the Army Ladies Association of Zambia in Mansa District has donated assorted items worth 20,000 kwacha to the Zambia Army Luapula Command Camp Hospital to help enhance healthcare services.
These ladies you are seeing here have worked hard to find little money to buy these few items, such as mattresses, chairs, benches, and curtains, sir. And it is our sincere hope that this will help in a way.
Meanwhile, the Zambia Army says the donated items will improve healthcare services at the camp hospital, which now caters for a large catchment area.
Ensure that the items that you have donated will be taken good care of, especially that our camp hospital now has a large catchment area of patients who are visiting us. We thank you very much, and we are noting that this contribution has come from your pockets. We are so humbled and grateful.
Chipidi Makasa, reporting for Zans in Massa District, Luapula Province.
Still on health news, Kalumbila District Health has launched the measles rubella supplementary campaign targeting to vaccinate 41,435 children between the age of 9 to 59 months in the district. Speaking during the launch, District Health Director Itolawami Isonga expressed gratitude to government for partnering with World Health Organization and UNICEF to fund the measles campaign. Dr. Isonga explained that measles outbreaks has been reported in different facilities of the district within the past 2 years. He explained that measles is a highly contagious disease caused by a virus with symptoms, among them fever, coughs, or sneeze, rash. Meanwhile, Kalumbila Council Chairperson Shedrick Mujunga called upon the community leaders and stakeholders in the health facilities to support the smooth execution of the measles rubella campaign to protect children from the deadly disease.
We have to note that the year 2022 and 2023 hasn't been that much good for Kalumbila district. We were not hit only by COVID, but we also hit by measles in our under 5 population. We recorded several outbreaks of measles in Kalumbila district, and this campaign was really expected. And we are thankful to the government for bringing in one place our partners, WHO and UNICEF, to come in and fund this measles rubella SIA, which is expecting to capture 41,435 children in Kalumbila district. That is our population, which is under 5, those who are between 9 months and 59 months. Those are the number of children we need to capture in this Kalumbila district of ours. And that can only be possible if the parents and the leaders of the communities get involved, because all of them, they've witnessed the damage of measles.
We are also appealing all the stakeholders in Kalumbila district should come on board to support this campaign. Let's not leave it to the government alone. Let other stakeholders who are in Kalumbila district come on board to support this campaign so that every child should not be left out. Every corner of Kalumbila district should get the vaccine. The government is committed to ensuring that the measles rubella vaccine, which has proved to be efficacious, made available to all eligible children here in Kalumbila district freely. I now officially launch this measles rubella campaign in Kalumbila district.
You hear the cry of a baby, it's the beginning of life. It is the future as well. We are here to protect our future as a country. If we don't hear the cry of babies, it means that the future of the country is not secure.
We take another break. Still to come is the education segment. Stay tuned.
Zambia Today is a program that keeps you informed on various government policies and programs. Join us every Tuesday at 18 hours on Zans TV, Topstar Platform, Channel 6 DTT, and 458 DTH. Don't miss.
Welcome back. And on our education segment, Teaching Service Commission Secretary Lynette Waluvita has expressed concern with the indiscipline levels amongst teachers as witnessed by the recent examination malpractice during the external examinations, among other bad vices. Speaking when she paid a courtesy call on Northwestern Province Permanent Secretary Grandson Katambi, Ms. Waluita said the team is in the province to train human resource committees in disciplinary procedures to curtail some of the bad vices in the service. Ms. Waluita stated that human resource committees are key in enhancing professionalism amongst teachers as they act as gatekeepers. Meanwhile, the Provincial Permanent Secretary, Colonel Grandson Katambi, has urged the Commission to also curb corruption amongst human resource officers as it is leading to having unprofessional people in the profession. Colonel Katambi noted with concern the number of teachers having sexual relations with pupils in exchange for different favors. He stated that going forward, human resource officers should be made to account for any of the bad behaviors recorded amongst teachers in the different districts.
The reason that we are here is to train these people, take them through the disciplinary procedures so that even the human resource officers who are the gatekeepers can know what to do.
Children are getting impregnated by their own teachers, and then this teacher, knowing the type of, where the child comes from because of poverty, they will go there and organize and end up concealing such things. And just 1,000 is enough to sit on such very important issues. So, but meanwhile, you find that the HRs are aware.
Education segment continues. A charitable organization has offered to feed pupils at Henry Kapata Primary School in Kasama with meals under the school feeding program. Irene's Food for Thought founder, Irene Walia, said her organization is expected to be feeding over 960 children with 1 meal per day. Ms. Walia said this during the launch of the program in Kasama. Taonga Nkoma gives us more in this report.
A charitable organization called Irene's Food for Thought has launched a feeding program at Henry Kapata Primary School in Kasama District. Through this program, the organization is targeting to be providing meals to 960 pupils daily. Kasama District Commissioner Anipo officiated at the launch of the program.
We are committed to transforming the economy with increased support from the private sector. This event is a perfect example of the private partnership program, PPP, which has been exhibited by government and Irene's Food for Thought charity organization, a private organization registered to champion the interests of children aimed at increasing the private sector participation.
It has been a long journey to be where we are today when we are actualized the project of ensuring that approximately 960 children are put on a feeding program which will help improve learners' performance in school and improve their nutrition status.
The District Education Board Secretary's office and the school management are thrilled with the development.
We expect numbers of children to go higher. Because of the numbers going up, we also expect the number of teachers to increase.
We are humbled of this gesture of receiving a well-bought kitchen shelter and aligned feeding activity in school from the Irene's Food for Thought Foundation.
Meanwhile, Henry Kapata village headman has urged the community and school authority to safeguard the facility. Taonga Nkoma, Zans in Kasama District.
Government says small and medium enterprises are the backbone of Zambia's economy, which contribute 70% towards the country's gross domestic product. Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises Development Permanent Secretary Suveta Mutelo noted that despite the impressive numbers, SMEs face a number of challenges that hinder them from becoming successful exporters. This was reviewed in a speech read for her by the ministry's director, Bernadette Mwanakachea, during the Zambian Association of Manufacturers in collaboration with the Canadian government 3 days Expo's competitiveness workshop in Lusaka today.
Small medium enterprises, SMEs, face a number of challenges that hinder export growth amongst local manufacturers in Zambia. This is why the Zambian Association of Manufacturers, in collaboration with the Canadian Fund for Local Initiatives, have launched the 3-day Exporters Competitiveness Workshop in Lusaka with the aim of growing the export sector. Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises Development Permanent Secretary Suveta Mutelo, in a speech read for her by the ministry's director Benedict Mwakachea, said the initiative complements government's efforts.
By equipping the SMEs with the knowledge and skills required to navigate the complexities of international trade, this training will undoubtedly enhance SMEs' competitiveness and increase the export potential. As we know, SMEs are the backbone of our economy, contributing about 70% to our gross domestic product, providing 80% of employment and comprising 97% of all businesses in the country. Despite these impressive numbers, SMEs face significant challenges in becoming successful exporters. These challenges include limited access to local and foreign markets, limited access to affordable finance, poor uptake of technology, and lack of innovation. This training program complements government efforts to deal with some of these constraints, especially the access to international market.
The Canadian head of mission in Zambia says there is need for local manufacturers to be export ready.
Expanding your business beyond domestic borders can lead to an increased revenue. It leads to diversification, but also, I think more importantly, it leads to improved competitiveness and innovation. It allows you to tap into new customer bases with new demands, and it also allows you to leverage global supply chains. So by expanding into these markets, you also see where other international contributors can add value to your own manufacturing processes.
Zambia Association of Manufacturers President Ashu Sagar highlighted the need for Africa to trade beyond its borders.
Despite the numerous free trade areas that we have created in the continent, Africa as a continent does the least amount of trade within itself. Our intercontinental trade stubbornly remains in the range of 15 to 20%. In Europe and Asia, this figure is consistently to the tune of 60% and above. It is no coincidence, therefore, that the poverty and unemployment levels continue to be widespread in our economies. It may interest you to note that our largest trading partners tend to be outside the continent. This is true for Zambia and many states in the continent. This is something we're trying to change.
Participants are grateful for the initiative.
Registering with the Zambia Association of Manufacturers, and this event here, which is export readiness, is one of the events that we are benefiting. This will equip us as a company to export, to tap into the regional market and be able to expand our business as a company. And just from this training, we anticipate a lot of knowledge about how we are going to export and what we need to do in order for us to be ready to be able to export.
Kasweka Sakaimbo reporting, Zans, Lusaka.
And government has urged the Police Public Complaints Commission to ensure they continue engaging the general public to hear their complaints on how the police service operates in the region. Muchinga Province Permanent Secretary Henry Mkungule says he is aware that the general public may not know about the Commission's responsibilities, adding that through their visits to provinces, the general public will know the Commission's duties, which will help them raise their concerns. Mr. Mkungule was speaking this morning when a team of commissioners from the Police Public Complaints Commission paid a courtesy call on him at his office in Chinsali district. The PS stated that the general public always fear to raise complaints on certain police officers on the belief that fellow officers may favor them.
Grateful that you are here and that you will be able to attend to those issues and challenges that will be raised by the members of the community. I think this will pave a way for smooth operations, because I know that we are running a one government policy, and that we have to make sure that in whatever we do, we integrate, we incorporate the general public. even within the police, you find elements that may not work according to the principles of the police. And such officers are supposed to be maybe dealt with.
You are aware it's to hear cases or matters that members of the public have against the police. We do a sitting and make decisions, and after that we pass recommendations to a relevant institution. Because you meet a lot of members of the public who may ask you, no, the police have done ABCD to me, what do I do? This is the commission that deals with that. So we are a bridge between members of the public and the police service.
Also in the news, the provincial administration in Central Province has urged civil servants to take advantage of moderate interest rates offered by the Public Service Microfinance Company to invest in assets. Provincial Assistant Secretary Mwape Kasanda says because of the moderate borrowing rates and other incentives offered by the institution, the government workers should not shy away from accessing assets loans. Speaking in an interview with Zans in Kabwe on the sideline of the Public Service Microfinance Company engagement meeting, Mr. Kasanda emphasized that civil servants should invest in asset loans, describing it as key to building real wealth. He observed that civil servants frequently tend to seek loans from institutions that overcharge them, plunging them into a debt-ridden life. Mr. Kasanda said investing in agricultural assets would foster one's growth while sustaining the family and consequently benefiting the community and the country at large. Speaking earlier, Public Service Microfinance Company Limited Chief Executive Officer Mubanga Mwiko called on the civil servants in the province to take advantage of the low borrowing rates offered by his institution. Now, stakeholders in the water sector have called for increased infrastructure development if commercial utilities are to avoid water losses. The Water and Sanitation Association of Zambia says heavy investment coupled with strategies put in place by the government will help mitigate the heavy losses of water that commercial utilities are facing. More in this report.
Non-revenue water continues to be a challenge that the water sector has continued to grapple with. Non-revenue water is simply water that is produced by commercial utility companies but is lost before getting to the consumers. This could be through leakages or, in some cases, illegal connections. In 2023, commercial utilities lost over 1.3 billion kwacha as a result of non-revenue water. The Water and Sanitation Association of Zambia is of the view that increased investment in infrastructure can go a long way towards addressing this problem.
There is both a need to invest heavily in the sector in terms of infrastructure. As you know, the pipes, most of the networks for the utility companies are quite old, they are obsolete. And besides that, we also need to replace, to extend the coverage. But the second aspect is also commercial losses. This is something that doesn't need to have a huge investment. It just goes with the mindset. It's mainly on mindset. What is our attitude towards water?
The water sector regulator, National Water Supply and Sanitation Council, NWASCO, has expressed confidence that with interventions put in place by the government, non-revenue water will be reduced.
We just launched recently a national non-revenue water strategy, which we want to use to ensure that we reduce this non-revenue water. But also there are a number of programs that we have embarked upon with support from also European Union and the ZEST program, just to make sure that we reduce this non-revenue water. Otherwise, we are all bothered. It's not anyone's joy to see that our non-revenue water is about 50%.
With the establishment of the National Non-Revenue Water Management Strategy 2022 to 2026, stakeholders will be hoping for a solution to the issue at hand. Mtalekani for Zans News in Lusaka.
Meanwhile, Mambwe Town Council has set aside 3.5 million kwacha under the Constituency Development Fund to undertake major rehabilitation of the dilapidated rural roads in the district. According to the Council Secretary, John Mwanza, the entire 3.5 million kwacha will be expanded on grading and improvement of the rural roads that have never received any facelift since inception. Details in this report.
The poor state of most rural roads in Mambwe district of Eastern Province has been negatively affecting socio-economic development. But this narrative is now changing as the local authority has started working on the bad road infrastructure using the Constituency Development Fund for 2024. One major road that is being worked on is the 100 kilometers old Kakumbi Road.
So the old Kakumbi Road is just one of the roads we're going to rehabilitate, because we want to rehabilitate 100 kilometers using the 3.5 million. From Old Kakumbi Road, we are coming to Chisengu Chumbe Police Road. From there, we'll be going to Chikowa Msoro Road via Nyakatokoli to upgrade those roads. And there are even crossing points in those roads. So that's the money we are using. We had the 1.5 million for 2023. Now we have the 3.5 million for 2024 to be used in these roads.
Malambo Member of Parliament Peter Perry, who is also Eastern Province Minister, is happy with the progress so far attained.
Our people are always complaining about the status of our roads around in Mambwe. I can't even say there is a better road anywhere, other than those roads that now we have started working on. I'll cite some few roads that we have touched, but not necessarily we have made them motorable. But we want them to be a better gravel standard that will last and maybe service our people for a longer period. When we finish to do the Kakumbi Road, we are going to move to Musoro, Nyakatokori Road. I can tell you, the road was only graded in 1990, if not mistaken, by the then UNIP government.
The people of Malambo constituents are grateful to government for procuring equipment for road maintenance under the CDF.
So, Momada Pangira, Asopangani Manjan. Kudaro, Komena Pangira, Lodi, Lombaba, Spanish, UNT, Detono, Mutsokwa, Akainde history. Tonodi atiweza mashini tupangira rodi utira tutisipita kugwe tukomaso kutoka za wambiri baboma limeza chita tukugulira matipa bagreda godi zitipangira mseo kuno Mambwe patu kunoko.
Lobase Mtafela, Zans, Mambwe District, Eastern Province.
And finally, on our news, Copperbelt Province Minister Elisha Matambo has described the late former Minister of Defense under the Movement for Multi-Party Democracy MMD, George Mpombo, as a selfless man who always wanted to serve the people. Mr. Matambo said this when he visited the funeral house for the late former Defense Minister at his farm in Chiwala area in Masaiti District. Mr. Mpombo died on Sunday, September 22nd, 2024 at Ndola Teaching Hospital after an illness. Well, that item brings us to the end of Zani's news, but before we go, let's take a look at the news that made headlines. The Regional Conference of Youth on Climate Change for Southern Africa opens in Lusaka. Government hands over assorted farming equipment to farmers in Mafinga District. Teaching Service Commission concerned with indiscipline levels among teachers. Plus, Mambwe Town Council sets aside 3.5 million kwacha for road rehabilitation. Well, thank you so much for staying tuned to Zani's News. My name is Kafala Salamba, and on behalf of my sign language interpreter, Joas Shikombwe, and the entire production team, it's thank you so much for watching and stay tuned.